Natalie Rydström. It certainly is an exciting time for tennis fans as the 2013 French Open begins this Sunday. And here with us now to discuss the betting value is SBRForum contributor and sportswriter Nila Amerova. Nila, thanks once again for joining us.
Hi Natalie, nice to see you again.
The draw has now been released, and one person who must be counting their lucky stars is Serena Williams. Not that the American needed any help, as she comes in with incredible form. She won't have to deal with the likes of Sharapova or Azarenka to make it to the final. Now, do you see her even dropping a set here?
Yes, Natalie, I actually do. She's got some big hitters in her quarter. She's got Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, she's got Ekaterina Makarova, she's got Angelique Kerber, and Svetlana Kuznetsova, who's a former French Open champion. All four have definitely taken a set off Serena as well. Kuznetsova, Makarova, and Kerber have beaten Serena in past events, so they definitely would fancy their chances of beating Serena. So definitely you would think if they ever did cross paths that they could take a set off Serena, but that all depends if they do cross paths.
Now, Maria Sharapova and Victoria Azarenka are 4.5 to 1 and 7 to 1 with Pinnacle respectively to win outright. However, they're likely to need to duke it out against each other to meet Serena if the finals all goes well according to plan. Now, are you betting either future?
Good question, Natalie. Assuming all falls in line with the draw and the pair's collision course comes to fruition, it should be, first of all, a sensational matchup. Azarenka has a 7-5 lifetime edge over Sharapova, but Sharapova has won both clay court encounters. I would say it's a tough one to call, especially now that both of them are on good form coming into the French Open. The sentimentalist in me would like to see, I think, Sharapova come through, but if push comes to shove, or if this matchup actually does present itself, I think I would lean towards Azarenka.
Do any round one matches stand out to you as being worthy of a bet?
Glad you asked, Natalie. There actually are quite a few early round matches in the women's game that I would suggest fans should spot. One of the first ones that practically leaps off the page for me is Caroline Wozniacki versus Laura Robson. Wozniacki's been waffling of late on form, and Laura Robson has been playing some good tennis. I think that could be an early round upset of Wozniacki, of course. Some others that I've spotted as well: Venus Williams against Ursula Radwanska. Venus Williams is still struggling to find her game, so that could be an interesting matchup. As well, there's Ivanovic Martic in the first round. That could be quite interesting. Could go either way, but Martic might actually be able to mastermind a small little upset there for herself as well. And another one that I really like is Jankovic versus Hantuchova. Hantuchova is a veteran player. She's really good on clay as well. I think she could give Jelena Jankovic a run for her money. As well, the last one that I would actually point out is Lina versus Medina Garrigues. Annabel Medina Garrigues did take a set off Serena in Madrid, and Lina has been she's been consistent, but she hasn't been exactly in her French Open winning form, I would say. So that could be a potentially interesting matchup in the beginning as well.
Yeah, it could certainly be. Now, one thing's for sure is it's going to be a great slam, but can we expect any surprises this event?
I think there can be definitely quite a few surprises. Serena Williams, and even in Serena Williams' quarter, as good as she is, she's trimmer and fitter than she's ever been in recent memory. She does have a few stumbling blocks that I think could be interesting, one of which would be Svetlana Kuznetsova in the round of 16. Kuznetsova did win the French Open once. She has beaten Serena at the French Open as well, so that would be an interesting matchup if it did come through for fans. As well, there's Sarah Irani, who's now the 4th seed. I think she's going to feel a lot of pressure coming into the tournament because she was last year's finalist, and that could go both ways. To replicate such a performance might be a little bit too much for her, so she could potentially go out in the early rounds. I think her section should be closely watched. As well, Sharapova's section looks quite tough, I would say. She's got Kvitova, Jankovic, and Stosur, just to name a few in her section. So there could be a lot of interesting results in that quarter.
Okay, Nila, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.